So I'll be blunt. It's broken, it's overpowered, but it perfectly fits Luffy and the narrative that we've crafted so far. The devil fruit and its awakening solely relies on the imagination of the user. And Luffy oozes creativity. He always thinks out of the box and thinks of new things to try out, even during battle. That's how he evolves, that's how he fights. That's how Snake Man was refined. And that's how he awakened. He is the embodiment of creativity within the world of One Piece. And this devil fruit is the medium through which this creativity is manifested. And we can also see this as the embodiment of freedom because he's free to do whatever he wants, however he wants to. He can fight in any way he chooses to. It's all up to him and his limitations that he puts on himself. That's the limitations of this ability, as well as, probably a time limit because it's too overpowered for this world. Those two are the only limitations: his imagination and probably a time limit. Because we see within this chapter, within chapter 1045, that when he gets out of the awakening, he turns into this wrinkly, droopy, exhausted person. It takes a lot out of him to just be in this state of complete freedom. In this state, Luffy expended a lot of life force, and you can see it on his face. It's plain as day. And while we're on the topic of life force, let's talk about fire. It symbolizes life within the series. This is mainly due to the Viva card. When it burns, it means that a person's life is in danger. The owner's life, I meant to say. And even further than that, when Ace died, the flame completely gobbled up the Viva card and was nothing but ash, as well as his devil fruit being fire. His death was major in the sense that his flame was snuffed out, meaning that life was snuffed out. Is it too much of a stretch? Maybe, but I'm going with it. And I also pull Marco the Phoenix into this fray. He is a phoenix with blue flames. He heals people and brings them back to life, or heals their life. He's a doctor. What can I say more? Any more evidence? I probably need some more, but let's just skip over that. Because our next point is that Luffy's life is being burned away. His life force is being used as fuel to power this form. That's why his hair becomes fiery. That's why he looks the way he looks when he gets out of his transformation. I don't know, but the visual cues are telling me that he's burning his life like a lot of times within the series. Back in Enies Lobby when he used Gear Secundo, or when Ivankov just gave him boost in Impel Down and Marine Ford. There's so many instances within this series that Luffy has used his life for more power, or to continue fighting on, or at least to have the ability to fight on further. But moving away from fire and going to another thing similar to that, something hot, let's talk about the sun. Because obviously, his fruit contains the will of the Sun God Nika. He is the warrior of freedom. He is someone of legends. He's a god within the world of One Piece. And we can see that by the talks of the Gorosei and the carvings within the ancient cities in Skypiea. But we don't know much about him. We can speculate a lot of things with Joyboy and him, their connection to the Void Century. Maybe he was sealed, maybe his will was sealed within the fruit, and now he lives on as the fruit. But we don't know. Maybe he is the Adam tree. Maybe he created all the devil fruits. But it's still a mystery. But right now, I really want to talk about just the sun. Because I want to talk about Ace again. Ace created a sun, a miniature sun, during his fight with Blackbeard. And it was consumed by the darkness of his Yami Yami no Mi. I believe that's what it's called. And the name of that attack was Flame Commandment. A reference, obviously, to the 10 Commandments of the Bible, which is directly given by God. There might be a connection there due to influence. There's a lot of things that I want to talk about. But let's go back to the theory of Joyboy being sealed within the fruit, or at least Nika. Now that we know that the will of Nika, the sun god, is in the Hito Hito no Mi model Nika, I'm beginning to think that awakening a mythical zone requires you to pass certain criteria. For example, maybe you have to die, and that's why Kaido wants to die so much. He wants to awaken his fruit and become a true dragon, a true Azure Dragon. However, there hasn't been an opportunity where his life is actually at risk. He tried to do that with Whitebeard, but Shanks stopped him. He also had the chance with Odin, who was on the verge of defeating him, but was distracted and taken out of the fight because of other people. But right now, he has Luffy. Unfortunately for him, Luffy doesn't kill intentionally. So in this fight, he will not kill Kaido. He will not give Kaido the satisfaction, the gratification of awakening his devil fruit. In his own words, he will not be a complete person. And this is because I mainly think that the user of the devil fruit must pass the criteria of the mythical zone's spirit, the mythical zone's will, trapped within the devil fruit. And this also can apply to Sengoku and your boy, Marco the Phoenix. Although Marco the Phoenix is kind of weaker than a lot of people, so he could have died to Blackbeard but was reborn? Maybe? But he hasn't shown us the capabilities, the true capabilities of an awakened mythical zone type devil fruit. At least not to the level of Luffy. Whew, that was a long spiel. Let's move on to another topic. Another topic concerning this fruit. There's so much that we can go on. But this will probably be the last section of this discussion. And it's probably going to be the longest one. So, buckle in. In this section, we're going to be talking about liberation. Liberation for the rest of the world, not just Luffy. I think this might happen either before he becomes Pirate King, just right before, and he takes the title of Pirate King right after he does this. Or he takes the mantle of Pirate King and then forces his way through Marijua and destroy the Red Line, liberating everyone else. Either the epilogue or the climax of the Supreme War, I guess. But in order for them to destroy the Red Line, the symbol of the power of the Celestial Dragons, they need a lot of destructive power. And the one race within this world, well, technically there's a second kind, but we're not going to be talking about that just yet. We'll talk about it after it's destroyed. Because they also play a key role within this theory, this hodgepodge theory of mine. But before that, we need to talk about the Giants. The Giants are impressively powerful. Within the world of One Piece, they are a symbol of power. They are a symbol of strength. They are one of the most powerful races because their weakest people are some of the strongest in the world. They can contend with anyone. Their weakest. Their strongest, we have not seen the peak of yet. The closest that we've seen were Broggy and Dory while they were fighting. Yet we've never seen them use Haki at all. We've never seen the peak of their strength. But even then, we have the ancient giants, Oars and Oars Jr. We saw how powerful they were, and the giant skull that is Onigashima. We haven't seen them, so they could destroy the Red Line. In chapter 1045, we saw Luffy become a giant, and throughout 1044 and 1045, we've seen Luffy's ability, Luffy's awakening, spread to multiple people. We see them, their eyes popping out, just like Luffy's. His Devil Fruit awakening can affect people. So does that mean that he can transform them as giants? Imagine the destructive power of like both Sanji, Jinbei, Zoro, all attacking the Red Line as giants, alongside Luffy. Imagine that! That would be so amazing. But then again, it would also take a lot of life force coming from Luffy, maybe. And then after the Red Line is destroyed and the All Blue is created, I think Luffy will use his Devil Fruit ability to transform the water as rubber and just mold it so that it doesn't create that much of tsunamis. And in order to save people, I think the Sea Kings will drag the Noah to save everyone. If it would come to the dangerous conclusion of a worldwide tsunami. And Luffy can enlarge the Noah. And then Luffy dies at the end of the series. But that goes on too far. Just take into account the Giants thing. Just imagine Luffy and his crew being giants, just destroying everything. Imagine Monster Point Chopper as a giant. He's already gigantic. And now make him even more gigantic. He's a Zunisha type character now. Imagine that. Imagine that. Oh my gosh. So many possibilities. I'm just gushing right now. I'm just gushing. This last section is so fun to think about. But it's also the part where I'm less confident in than anything else. The other things, I have somewhat of a basis. This thing, it's the eyes, okay? It's the eyes popping out of everyone's head as a reactionary goof. That's it. And him turning into a giant, of course. This probably won't happen, but if it does, I said it. Your boy said it. All right, I need to wrap things up. I didn't even talk about. I might leave that for another video, because probably next week I'll have a lot of these answers answered. A lot of them, not all of them, but at least a good portion of my questions answered. Come on, Oda. Please, I'm begging you. Come on, please. Peace out.